What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys love turtle brownies, make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the video because today, baby, we are making caramel walnut turtle brownies in all of that part, okay? All right, so if you're here for that, like I said, stay tuned for the rest of the video. But if you're not subscribed to the video, go ahead and subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you drop me some comments in the end to let me know how I did. I really appreciate the support, period. All right, so right now I'm just going ahead and chopping up some fresh walnuts. And oh yeah, by the way, today's video is brought to you by Duncan Hines, okay? Because I did not feel like making these brownies from scratch today, and you can say whatever you want to say, but I didn't feel like doing it today. And it was one of those days, girl, and you know what I mean. Okay, so we're here making them from the box. All right, get with it. Okay, so I incorporated my fresh chopped walnuts, and if you guys like that smokiness that nuts give you and you want to incorporate that in your recipe, all you got to do is put them on a cookie sheet, pop them in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes, roast them up a little bit, and boom, bam, pow, there you go. You got your roasty, nutty flavor added to your recipe just like that. Quick and simple. Okay, so right here I'm going to go ahead and incorporate my pre-made brownie mixture with my fresh chopped walnuts into my mixer, not mixer, my mix, my mixer. Got it. My mixer, and we're going to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. Okay, and that's all it is, boo-boo. We have our 1 egg at room temperature. Go ahead and pop that in. Pop, just like that. And we're going to add our water and our oil. Okay, we have about a 1/4 cup of water, and we have a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Okay, and we're going to make that nice and smooth and creamy. Okay, and we're going to move on to the next step, so make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and scrape down a bowl, and this is so essential, you guys. Please don't forget this step, because baby, you do not want anything that's not incorporated into your batter that's supposed to be there. You want to make sure it's very well mixed, okay? And once you scrape down that bowl, go ahead and give that thing another go and mix, mix, mix until you're liking. Just try not to over mix the batter. It is very important, okay? So a few more revolutions of that mixer won't hurt, okay? But don't go overboard, and make sure you watch how high you put your mixer speed on, okay? So here we are. Y'all see your girl, okay? Looking real chef-like. Looking real chef-like with her pink hat and her apron on. Oh, child, she thinks she cute. And is, period, poo. All right, so right here, I am scraping down my mixer paddle because we don't waste anything. We want every drop that we can get from that product because the coins matter. Okay, so right here I'm just giving it a final hand mix. Okay, and this is something that you also want to do to make sure everything's incorporated exactly how it needs to be, and it looks how it needs to look, and it feels how it needs to feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do. Okay, now we're going to lay down our towel, and we're going to go ahead and line it, and we're going to put our tins. Now you might like a 9 by 13 inch pan to bake your brownies in, and that's perfectly fine. However, I chose these mini loaf tins that I've purchased from Amazon, okay? And they are very cool looking and very handy. Now, I've seen a lot of people use these, and I also have my baker spray to coat them. Make sure you coat the inside of your pans, you guys. And if you're using a more traditional type of baking pan, go ahead and line the inside of your pan with your parchment paper to make sure nothing sticks. Okay, you don't want nothing to burn. You don't want your goodies to burn. Okay, after you spend so much time making this, don't let it burn. Usher voice. Okay, so put your your parchment paper in the bottom of your pans. Now for me, it's just to spray into these little tins, these mini loaves that I got from Amazon. And you can also use these for cake. Okay, and these are very popular, and you can see them all over the internet. A lot of people use them, and they're very, very affordable. Mine came in 3 different colors, and it does come with the lids and the spoons and the stickers and all that cool stuff. Now, anyway, back to the video. So right here, I'm going to add 3 scoops. Okay. Now, I was just eyeballing this. I wasn't exactly sure exactly how much batter that was totally necessary for the brownies to rise all the way to the top. But I know I didn't want to add too much. Get what I'm saying? Because we don't want to overrise and we have, brownie over the top of the pan or the tin. We don't want to do that. So, I just went ahead and added 3 scoops with my cookie scooper, and it's roughly the size of a tablespoon. But do you, boo? Eyeball it, measure it out, and I have my walnuts inside of my batter. Now you may choose to add pecans. You can add pecans or whatever nuts you want. I mean, it's a turtle brownie, so add whatever nuts you want. I just went ahead and added walnut, considering that the Duncan Hines recipe already had walnuts in it. So I just went along with that. But yeah, 3 scoops of this, and then I smooth them out very carefully, and just so they can get an even rise, if you understand what I'm saying. And I pop these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Okay, and that's all it took. Now, if you're using a traditional pan, whether it's a non-stick pan or aluminum pan, make sure you know the accurate baking time for your specific pan. Okay, that's very, very crucial. All right, so but for these little guys, it only took me about 15 minutes to bake. And I also use my toothpick to stick in each one and make sure that it came out clean. That way you know that they are done. It's not ooey gooey on the inside, because this recipe does have egg in it, you guys, and you do not want to have any uncooked egg in your dessert because it is very unsafe. But y'all know that, right? I ain't got to tell y'all that. Y'all know that, okay? You're smart. Big brain, period. All right, so right here, I'm going to go ahead and add my caramel. Now, I did not make this caramel sauce, and I was also being lazy to do that, okay? She just having a lazy day. I had some caramel sauce that was purchased out of the jar, and it was by Smuckers, okay? And I just put that in my bottle right here, and I drizzled it into my brownie mixture. Now, to create a marble effect, which this is something you should do, okay, is take your toothpick and marble that sauce into that brownie batter, okay? And then we pop it into the oven and let it do its thing, okay? But if you're still here watching this video, thank you so much for continuing to support me. Okay, love you much. Now here we go. We're going to go ahead and add in our butter. Now this is about 70 grams of butter times 2, and it is melted. And we have our cocoa powder. Now you can use Dutch cocoa powder if you want. Okay, it's more darker. Come on, Sharp. It's more darker. Okay, but it also works. But here I use what I have on hand. Even though I have both, I chose to go to my Hershey's cocoa, and it is the unsweetened Hershey's cocoa. Now I've added 10 teaspoons to my sifter, because remember what I told you, you want to sift your cocoa powder because it gets the lumps and the bumps out. Okay, you don't want your batter lumpy and bumpy. Or if you're making icing like I am doing right here, this is a chocolate buttercream frosting for the brownies, by the way. Okay, and that's what I'm making. So there's 10 scoops of cocoa powder at 1 tablespoon each. There's 10. Now there's other recipes that you could find for this exact same buttercream, and some people tend to use salt. I didn't use salt, but you can definitely add an eighth of a teaspoon of salt into your buttercream. That is totally fine. And we're going to sift this, okay? Get all the lumps out. And once we do that, we'll be back and you'll see what I mean when we get to the end of the sifting. You're going to see all of those little bumps and lumps and stuff like that. And we're going to use our spatula to get the rest of that powder out of that sifter, okay? But until then, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, we're going to go ahead and incorporate our mixture, our cocoa powder, into our unsalted butter. Make sure it's unsalted. Now, I've heard people use salt butter, and that's fine. I guess it just depends on what your taste is like. Okay, now if you use salted butter, I would not use the eighth of a teaspoon of salt into this frosting, because that'll be a little too much salt going in, and that'll be way too much. Anyway, so we're gonna mix this up until nice and smooth, and yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we'll be back. Okay, you guys, so we've added about 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, because everything tastes good with vanilla in it, but that's besides the point. The recipe calls for it, so go ahead and add your 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, as well as your milk of choice. Now, I use Fairlife because it's easier on the stomach. I am lactose intolerant, and come to find out recently, I'm more lactose intolerant than I actually really thought. So now, along with me not can't eat a lot of other things, I am going to have to go dairy free. But with your milk, make sure you add at least 3 tablespoons of milk to your frosting. This is going to make it nice and rich, okay? And then we're going to move on to our powdered sugar, okay? And we're going to do 1 cup at a time. Now you can turn your mixer off, and you can also do all these things with a hand mixer. You do not have to do a stand mixer, but I love my KitchenAid, and that's on everything. It took me forever to get one of these, and I use it at every occasion that I possibly get. But I do have a stand mixer, not stand mixer, a hand mixer that I got from Amazon for 21 bills, child. Okay, she be saving them coins over here. But make sure you add 1 cup of powdered sugar at a time. Now, don't do what I did. I had my I had my speed on a little too high, and it should be going nice and slow when you're adding this powdered sugar, because it can and will excuse me, fly everywhere. And as you can see, my stand mixer do not have that cover attachment piece. But even if it doesn't, friend, doesn't mean you can't improvise. Okay, get you a piece of plastic. Okay, get you a piece of cellophane and put right over that top of that, between the bowl and the top of your mixer. It will absolutely work to keep everything inside the bowl. Okay, so you don't have to worry about all the dust flying and everything else. But yes, 3 cups of powdered sugar. If you want more powdered sugar, you can add more powdered sugar, but 3 cups of powdered sugar is enough for me. That was sweet enough for me, and that's where I stopped. Okay, now I'm gonna give this bowl a good scrape down, and I'm gonna detach my paddle, and I'm going to go in by hand manually again to make sure that my frosting is exactly the right consistency that I wish it to be. And of course, do a taste test. Now, you ain't gonna see me do that, but yeah, I did a taste test and it was real good. It was real good. It was so good. But yes, that's what we're doing. So stay tuned. Okay, you guys, we're doing that final scrape down that I was talking about. My frosting is looking very lovely, nice and thick. It tastes amazing. And I'm going to put this in my piping bag, and I am going to put it onto my brownies. Now, when I was doing this part, you guys, it did not work out for me. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, to keep it cute, to kick it with you. Okay, it did not work out for me. Okay, and so I got irritated. For real, I got irritated, and I decided, I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to take my icing spatula, and I'm just going to glide the frosting across the brownie, as you can see. And now I'm going to take those leftover chopped nuts that I chopped up earlier, and I am going to put them on as my topping. Okay, and that's what we do. Because why? It's a walnut turtle brownie, you guys. Okay, and what better is to add more nuts on top? Okay, not only is it great for presentation, it adds a little extra texture to your brownie. And who don't love that? Okay, period. And that's what we're doing. And then we're going to use our sea salt caramel uh sugar on top of that, to give it that extra, little slight salt taste, but an extra caramel taste on top. And you can actually put this sugar on top of ice cream or any other desserts. It's by McCormick. This is my first time using it. Please dare to use it as well, because you're not going to be disappointed at all. And I'm not going to recommend something that I don't care for, and that's on everything. Now, before I put that sugar on, that caramel sugar on, I'm going to go back over my brownies and top with a little bit more caramel sauce on top of those nuts, to give it a little extra moisture and a little extra sweetness. Okay, And for real, I mean, it's just coming along very, very nicely. And if you like the way this is coming out, let me know how well of a job I did, or if you thought I could have done something different, or maybe did this a little bit better. Drop that down below too. I'm here for corrective criticism. I'm here to learn and grow, and I love making these videos. And here is the caramel sugar that I was talking about. It's the salted caramel sugar by McCormick. Let me get their name right. And it does taste good, and it adds an extra pizzazz onto your sweet treats. All right, you guys, I've added my final touches. I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on these bad boys in the end. You guys, do let me know how this turned out. Would you try this? Would you actually create this yourself? What would you add different? What would you do different? And I wish I could eat it, but I can't. I am so allergic to tree nuts, you guys. It's not even funny, but thanks for watching and stay blessed until next time.